What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Oh, welcome if it's your first time here. Well, I have notes, as you can see here, so you know it's going to be a great video, or at least hopefully it's going to be, because when I have notes, it keeps me on topic. Without notes, or at least bullet points, and I'm bad to go off on different rabbit trails, different tangents and things, get completely off the video topic. And this is important, I think, because of everything I see coming right now. You better be getting prepared, because it's going to be horrific in my opinion. And we can learn a lot from history, things that's happened in the past. We can look at the Great Depression of the 1930s. We can look at Argentina's economic collapse. We can look at World War II, World War I, different things that's happened before, and figure out what to expect, or at least sort of what to expect, hopefully, and some of the things we are going to need to stockpile and learn lessons from the past. If you don't learn lessons from the past, then you're not taking advantage of a huge resource, because there's a lot of history to read. And you can read that history, you can talk to people that that live through these things, and figure out, what to prepare for and how to do that. So I have 10 items here with a paragraph for each one of these topics, and each one's going to cover, a different important prep that I think is extremely important. I'm going to read each one of these, and then I'm going to expand on each one. And the title of today's video is Survival Wisdom, 10 Essential Lessons from Historical Crisis for Preppers. Number 1, diversify your food storage. As seen during the Great Depression, having a variety of preserved and shelf-stable food items is essential for long-term survival. Don't rely on just one type of food, and stock up on items with different expiration dates. My grandfather, he lived through the Great Depression. He was a young boy growing up during the Great Depression. He was born in 1920. And he would tell me stories, because he still remembered, a lot of things that happened then. And he said it was really bad because of a lot of poverty. And he remembered a lot of things because he was forced to work. He wouldn't like a lot of kids anymore playing video games all day. He actually had to get out in the garden and work. So he remembered having that huge garden. And he said that everyone he knew had that huge garden. They would grow produce. They would grow vegetables. A lot of people had apple trees on their property. They had chickens, they had hogs, they had cattle. In fact, my great-grandfather, which is his dad, he had a farm in Kentucky that was 86 acres, he said. Had a farm pond, had a barn, had a nice, farmhouse on that. And he had cattle, had hogs, had chickens, and they would raise a huge garden. And he would also hunt and things like that to keep food coming in. But that garden, he said, was extremely important. And they would take and grow that during the spring and summer. They would harvest that during the fall, and they would can most of that, home canned, and put that in a root cellar. And just about everyone did that. They would raise that garden, they would harvest that, they would can that produce, put that in their root cellars, and put that inside their basement root cellars and things like that to keep that at a better temperature, a more consistent temperature. And they would eat on that during the winter. Unfortunately now, in this area here and most other areas in the United States, people aren't self-reliant anymore. They don't raise those huge gardens. They don't can that produce. They don't have root cellars. Around here, you hardly ever see a root cellar anymore, because the old root cellars are all fell in. They've been dozed over. The old farm places have all been lighted off and sold off. It's sad, really, the way things have turned out. But people just aren't self-reliant like they used to be. You still have people here that will raise, a small hobby garden. There's a few large gardens, but not many at all. Most people that do have a garden, which is very few, will raise, a small garden, more of a hobby, and they'll eat some produce out of that, but they still don't usually can that themselves. They don't have, root cellars, they don't have basements and things like that to store that food in. But anyway, it's extremely important to have good food storage, because no doubt where you are, most people aren't self-reliant. And if you don't raise, a garden, you don't can your own food, then it's important to stock up on store-bought canned foods. And you want to get a variety. You don't want to store just the same thing, because after eating the same foods day after day after day, you're going to get taste bud fatigue. You're going to be like, can cause constipation, can cause health issues, nutrient deficiencies, and things like that. So you want to have a variety of different foods in your storage. And you want to have canned meats, canned vegetables, canned fruits, canned soups, canned milks, and just get a variety of different food items, because, like I said, you don't want to have just the same thing. I knew a prepper, and I think he's still prepping. I've not talked to him in a while, but all he would store in his survival preps was hard red winter wheat. He had that one food, and that was it, hard red winter wheat. He had grain grinders to grind that up. He knew how to prepare that and fix that. However, just that one food's all he had because it was cheap and at the time, and he could store, large amounts of that, and it has an indefinite shelf life. However, just having that one food was a huge mistake in my opinion. That's not really a prepper's food storage, that's just having a bunch of wheat. And he was planning on, gardening and hunting and things to expand that wheat out and have a different variety and to have more nutrients coming into his body besides just what that hard red winter wheat would provide. However, if you have a bad harvest, your garden doesn't turn out the way you thought it was going to, if you can't hunt, you can't forage, and all you have is that hard red winter wheat, that's not a survival plan. And I tried to tell the guy that, and he would argue that he knew what he was doing. So hopefully he's changed his mind, but not likely because a lot of people's just stubborn and hard-headed. So have a variety. Store 6 months if you can. 3 months is a bare minimum, but that's not really, in my opinion, being prepared. 3 months is better prepared than most people. However, you want to get at least 3 months. At least 3 months. 6 months is better. A year, more than a year is optimal, but at least 3 months. If you have less than 3 months food storage, then you're not prepared, in my opinion. So stock up on at least 3 months, 6 months preferably, a year even better, and longer than that is optimal. And like I said, get a variety. Number 2, community matters. During World War II, communities came together to support each other through rationing, victory gardens, and neighborhood watch. In times of crisis, strong bonds and mutual assistance can be key to survival. And having a community is extremely important. If you are a lone wolf, you might make it. It's going to be more difficult to make it. If you have a community, it's going to make things a lot easier. You're going to be more secure in your community. And your community, you can have a large prepping group, a mag, that's great. You can have a large family. That's even better, actually, in my opinion, especially if they prep also, because you have that family bond there. However, most communities anymore don't stick together. But if you have a community that sticks together with your neighbors, then you can work together, help each other. You can have community watch. You can protect each other's property. You can work together to grow larger gardens, to harvest and things like that, and work together as a community to survive. Community is extremely important. Don't overlook community because, like I said, without community, without neighbors, friends, family to help, it's going to be very, very difficult. Number 3, financial preparedness. The economic collapse in the U.S. and Argentina demonstrate the importance of having an emergency fund, investments in tangible assets like gold and silver, and reducing reliance on banks and the financial system. That's pretty much it. You want to have investments. You want to have your wealth in something besides paper, because economic collapse, that paper's going to hyperinflate and be worth pretty much nothing. So you want to have things like silver and gold. You want to have things like property if you can, ammunition, firearms, tools. Think of what is needed, what's been needed in the past, what people will need in the future, and try to stockpile that. And you want to have a variety of that also, because if you have one thing, say for example you just have ammunition stockpiled, it's good. It definitely beats not having anything at all stockpiled for, to retain your wealth. And ammunition can also be used to forge with, to protect your property with and things like that, but it also holds value, just like gold and silver do. You want to have a variety of different things and not just invest in one thing, because you don't know what you're going to need, what your neighbors are going to need, and what's going to be most useful in your situation where you are. So you want to have things like a land to invest your wealth in, so you can raise, your gardens and things like that, to produce your own food. You want to have silver, gold, ammunition, tools, skills. Farm animals is great also, because you can barter those. They can produce food you can sell and barter with. So try to figure out what your family, friends, neighbors are going to need in your community and stockpile that. But again, look at history, because gold and silver, for example, has always held value. Property has always held value. If you have that, then you're in a much better position than most people are during economic and financial collapse. And guys, number 4, maintain a low profile. During times of crisis, being conspicuous can make you a target. Minimize attention to your preparedness efforts by blending in with your surroundings and not flaunting your resources. You want to look like everyone else. Don't brag about your preps. For me, unfortunately, that time has came and gone. Here I'm on YouTube. I have 5 books written. But at this a long time. However, it's allowed me to gather up, a good-sized community and friends here where I am to make survival actually better, I think, in my opinion. We can go back to point number 2, community matters. But generally, you want to not let people know you're prepared. You want to blend in with everyone else. You want to appear that you are, if everyone in your community is desperate, you want to appear desperate also. You want to pretty much blend in, or at least stay hidden, and not make yourself into a target by being conspicuous. You don't want to be up on the mountain saying, look at me, because people will, and people might come for you. So be inconspicuous, maintain a low profile. Number 5, develop self-sufficiency skills. Lessons from history show that knowing how to grow food, purify water, and provide basic medical care can be invaluable during long-term crisis. Invest time in learning and practicing these skills. Unfortunately, time is running out for this. I think you can have to learn on the job, looks like, because I think times are definitely getting worse very, very quickly. And we're getting to a certain point now, I think it's going to go, very, very quickly. It's going to be like a train wreck coming, and most people aren't going to be prepared as far as knowledge-wise either. If you are, that's great, but right now, try to learn all you can. Stockpile books to learn from. Watch YouTube videos while you still can. You might be able to order some DVDs on things like canning and gardening and things like that in survival, and look at your skills you need and base what you buy on the skills you need. For example, if you don't know anything about raising hogs and you want to raise hogs, get a book on raising hogs. Go on YouTube and watch videos about raising hogs, and actually get a hog and raise that hog and learn. Same thing with chickens, gardens, firearms, whatever. If you don't have those skills, you need to have those skills, and try to start learning those now, but stockpile knowledge in the form of books that we can reference those back as needed. Number 6, focus on physical fitness. In times of war or societal collapse, physical fitness can be a matter of life and death. Maintain regular exercise routine and focus on functional fitness to prepare for potential challenges. And I know that not everyone can become a triathlete and run a marathon. However, most people can improve their health. If you can improve your health 10%, that's great. That's 10% better than you was before. So do everything you can to improve your health. You can walk. If you can jog, that's great. If you can run, jog, and walk kind of alternatively, that's actually better, because it will get your body used to going all in, pulling back, going all in again. And I think that's good to get in actual better physical condition than actually just running or walking, if you can mix it up that way. Try to eat healthy. Try to any medical conditions taken care of, like dental and things taken care of. You have teeth that's bad, get those pulled out, but get in the best physical condition as you possibly can, because if you look at history, the people who were sickly died first, and that's unfortunate. But people who are elderly, sickly, need constant medical care are going to die first. So get in the best shape that you possibly can for you. Again, if you can run a marathon and work up to that, that's great. But if you can't, don't worry about it. But if you can improve 5, 10, 20%, that is a huge plus. So work on your health and your physical fitness. And number 7, plan for different scenarios. The diverse crisis of recent history underscored the importance of being prepared for different types of emergencies, from natural disasters to financial collapse. Develop plans for various situations and practice implementing them. A lot of preppers, we focus on one topic, like an EMP, like a civil war, like an economic collapse. Thankfully, a lot of the preps we do cover a wide range of different scenarios and different things you might have to survive through, and different types of collapses and things like that. However, focusing on just one thing too much isn't really a good topic. You need to focus on different things, because you might need different things to stockpile, different skills to survive depending on what actually happens. If you're just focusing on an EMP and put all your efforts in that fire cages and bags and things like that, that's not really a good plan. You want to focus on EMP if you think that's a threat, war, economic collapse, pandemics and things, and focus on all this and say, what do I need, what overlaps, and what doesn't overlap, and what do I need that's extra for these other scenarios that I might face, and try to implement those and stockpile those things that you might need, but plan for different scenarios, because we don't know exactly what's going to happen. Number 8, invest in reliable communications. During World War II, having access to accurate information was crucial. Invest in communication devices like shortwave radios and satellite phones to stay informed and connected during a crisis. And that's definitely extremely important. Shortwave is good. Ham radio is good also. Two-way CB radios, GMRS radios, MERS is good. Police scanners is good. Satellite phones, I don't have one, I'd like to. But knowing what's going on from different sources, because, you know, if you listen to just our mainstream media, for example, then you'll get one side of the story. You want to listen to different news sources from different countries, different locations around the world, and having, you know, shortwave radios and things like that, you can listen to different perspectives and different broadcasting, because here in the United States, you get one story and you might hear something else from someone else somewhere else, and put it all together and figure out what's actually going on. So communications, like I said, is extremely important. Number 9, bartering skills and resources. As seen during the Argentine economic collapse, having items and skills to trade can be essential when money loses value. Stock up on barterable items and develop useful skills that others may need. And that goes also with, you know, your financial preparedness. Bartering items and bartering skills. Look around your community and say, what is needed in my community? Stock up on that if you can. What kind of skills do I need and my community is going to need? What kind of skills will make me an asset to my community, to my family, to my group, and try to develop those skills. Bartering in the next economy, I think, is going to be huge. And even if they do get this digital currency they want, then I think bartering is going to be even more popular, because people are going to try to barter to avoid, you know, that digital trail of everything that you buy and purchase and do. Because of that central bank digital currency, that's the whole purpose, to track and monitor everything you buy. And people who want to avoid that will use bartering. You know, you have something I need, I have something that you need. So we work out a bartering deal. I give you what I have that you need for what you have that I need. And guys, number 10, mental resilience. The psychological toll of enduring crisis cannot be underestimated. Develop mental toughness by practicing stress management techniques, cultivating a positive attitude, and fostering a strong sense of purpose to help you persevere through tough times. Now, people need safe spaces, because words are scary. They get hurt by words, and they fall to pieces because of words. So people definitely aren't mentally tough now. People are mentally weak. People are about to cry babies, unfortunately. And I hope it's not you, because it's going to be definitely detrimental to your survival. You have to be tough. You have to have a made-up mind that you're going to survive through whatever. You're going to make it and do whatever needs to be done to survive. Unfortunately, most people don't have that mindset anymore. Like I said, people are weak. People are whiny, usually whiny little bitches, to be honest about it, which is sad to say, but it's the truth. People used to get in their way. Kids, they cry and scream to get their way, and unfortunately, that goes over into adulthood a lot of times. And guys, I see this even in the prepping community, on this YouTube channel, in the comments. When I was running websites about prepping, I see a lot of comments, and people get so mad and so butthurt if you didn't say what they thought you should say. If their comment didn't get posted in a time period you thought that it should. If it took, you know, if you was busy and you couldn't get their comment posted live for, you know, several hours, and you go back and they'd have all kinds of other comments there, blah, 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 mattered, and holy crap, just falling all the pieces because their comment didn't get posted in time. People, even preppers, seem like anymore, are not mentally strong, and they fall to pieces over just anything. So you can imagine people's going to be like nowadays when times get tough. People were stronger in the past. People were more resilient in the past. People were more mentally strong in the past, and they worked together, like I said, and they didn't fall to pieces over just anything that happened. Unfortunately, now that's not the case. So you need to work on your mental preparedness and have yourself mentally strong, mentally ready to do whatever needs to be done, and to not fall to pieces at the slightest adversity like a lot of people does anymore. But anyways, if you liked the video, give it a big thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't done that already, and turn on notifications to be notified when I upload a brand new video. Thanks for watching. I'm Creekmore out here, and I'll see you all in the next video, hopefully.